Okay, now in this chapter, we're digging deeper into Adobe Illustrator. We want to find out just how far down this rabbit hole goes. And we're going to talk about in this lesson intent of the document. So say you open one, or actually, that's kind of getting ahead of myself. What you're doing is you're creating a document from scratch, file new, and that's what we're going to do. What's the intent of the document? And that's very important when you think about it. Now you might say, and you'd be partially correct in saying this, that since this is a resolution-independent application, well, I know it would take time if I needed to make a change, but it wouldn't really impact anything because it's resolution-independent. And again, you'd be partially correct in saying that. But if there are certain things we can do to modify our workflow to prepare a document, say for print or the web, wouldn't it make logical sense to do that? And that's what we're going to do. There is an expression, begin with the end in mind. It came from a gentleman by the name of Stephen Covey, who wrote a book, among others, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and his second habit is begin with the end in mind. So before I start a document in Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, it doesn't matter, I need to know as much as possible the intent of the document. So we're going out to, fictitiously, we're going out to print. So let's key to that. Go up to the word File on the pull-down menu and go down to New. Now, in New, you have a lot of options. For example, we could change the name right here. Now, understand, changing the name there doesn't save it at that point, but when you click File Save, the name is already there. So that's kind of nice to know. The profile is where we want to change things. We want to go to Print, not Web. I do a lot of video. It's kind of nice to know you have that. Let's go back to Print. Now, it begins to change things in here. For example, the sizes are based on print. Now, U.S., like letter in legal, in tabloid, European, A4, A3, B5, B4. Let's go letter. Let's just do letter. Leave it there. 612 by 792 points. I'm not big on measuring in points, at least for output to print. I like pica. So I'm going to go here. Now, you could go inches, centimeters, whatever you want. I'm going to change that to pica, and that's 51 by 66. I'm going to go portrait, not landscape. Now, what is bleed? A full bleed document is one, and you've seen these, is where the ink goes all the way to the edge of the paper. But how it's actually printed is interesting. It's printed on paper that's larger than 51 by 66. And that area is where you move part of the graphic. So when they cut the paper to 51 by 66, it basically looks like it's been printed all the way out to the edges. So let me give that a little bit of a bleed so you can see that when we open it up. We'll do 6p, that's an inch. Okay, 6p to the inch, that's more than enough, actually a lot more. Typically bleeds run about 1/4 inch or about 2p. Okay, advanced options. We have a color mode of CMYK, a PPI of 300. You say, well, okay, wait a minute. This is Adobe Illustrator. It's a resolution independent, yes. But when you're going out to press, there are some things that get rasterized, and that's the number it's going to use, and that's a good number. Align to pixel grid, no, that's the default. If we click Advanced right here, color mode is here. You can change that if you want to. Here's the raster effect. Again, you can change that if you want to. And here's the preview mode. We'll talk more about that later. And then you've got Align New Objects to Pixel Grid. I usually use this one more when I'm working on things like the internet. So we'll go ahead and leave that one off. When we click OK, we have our document. Now see this huge red area? I only made it that big so you could see it. That's the bleed area. So here's the piece of paper, the, 8.5 by 11 if you're measuring in inches. If I come over here, say this is a graphic. Let's pretend that's a graphic. We're playing pretend now. What I would want to do to make sure when they cut the paper, this would go all the way to the edges, is put part of it out into that bleed, say something like that. And what that would do is guarantee when they cut it, it would look like it printed all the way to the edges of the paper. And that's how it's done on a press. Now, a lot of inkjet printers do full bleeds, and they do them on regular paper. That's not how presses work. They work on larger pieces of paper. So what we've done here, we're done, is we've set the document up. It is now ready for us to create something with an intent of going out to print.